The Russian Orthodox Church is actively involved in the life of Russian society on every level. The Patriarch attends every major reception in Kremlin and is in constant contact with top-level state officials. Bishops play an important role in regional politics. Priests are a part of all sorts of public events, social and family life. Almost as complex as the system of state governance, the official church has interests and opinions in most spheres and aspects of society. Medicine, military, law enforcement, education, politics, culture, sport, you name it. To make these relations more coherent, consistent and in line with theological teachings, in the year 2000, the Bishops' Council adopted an important document on the foundations of the social doctrine of the Russian Orthodox Church. The council was called Jubilean due to 2000 years of Christianity. Although there was no year zero, hence the second millennium should be celebrated in 2001. The council was held in August 2000, the first year of Putin's presidency. During the council, many important decisions were made and authorized. For instance, the pantheon of martyrs of the communist repressions, including the family of Nicholas II, was beatified. Certain amendments were made to the official charter of the Church, and finally, the document I am about to discuss was introduced by its principal author and ideologue, Metropolitan of Smolensk and Kaliningrad, future Patriarch Kirill. As one of the most influential bishops of the Church, Kirill started working on the documents already in 1990. Eventually, in 1994, the Bishops' Council headed by Patriarch Alexei II authorized Kirill's working group to develop the foundations. The document consists of 16 chapters on the most crucial social issues. Let us discuss the most important, interesting, and maybe controversial ones. First, the foundations approve of the concept of patriotism as both an attachment to Russian territory and identification with Russians living all over the world. The document reflects on the role of the Church in the country and mentions symphonia, the ideal balance of the state and church power in a harmonic co-rulership. See a video about this concept on my channel. Further on, the foundations state that there are certain aspects in which the Church cannot collaborate with the state. The two most interesting points in this list are, firstly, political campaigns and elections, and secondly, civil or aggressive foreign wars. The document further elaborates that war can be just and unjust, and that the Church does not discourage her faithful from going to war in order to protect their loved ones or restore justice. The principle of turning the other cheek is interpreted as forgiving others for personal insults, but sacrificing life to protect the nation or its people. The following remark is quite convenient in the current situation. The foundations claim that in today's world it can be difficult to distinguish an aggressive war from a defensive one. Sometimes it says the state starts a war in order to protect the victims of aggression. Share in the comments if you believe the Church is consistent with her own social doctrine on war. Next, the foundations discuss the balance between an individual and the community, prioritizing communal, national, or congregational interests over personal. Further on, the document talks about capital punishment. Recently, Patriarch Kirill publicly stated that there is no direct prohibition on the death penalty in the Bible. The same claim can be found in the foundations with an addition of churches' plead for mercy for the condemned who should have a chance to repent. The last several chapters of the foundations are dedicated to the issues of morality, especially in the context of family and sexuality. The Church regards gender roles as complementary to each other and encourages a family life with the exception of monastics. Childbearing is praised, and rejecting it for egotistical reasons is a sin. The state parliament has just adopted the law that forbids the propaganda of a child-free life, to which the Church lobbied for an amendment making an exception for a monastic life. Naturally, abortion is condemned, seen as murder even on medical grounds. However, a woman should have a chance to repent. Along with her husband, if he consented to abortion, and the physician who performed it should also repent. When abortion is performed against the will of a husband, the foundations see it as a legitimate reason for divorce. Likewise, sperm donation or surrogacy are considered unnatural because they introduce a third person to a marriage or, if it's a single parent, rid a child of a full family. Cloning was a hot topic in the year 2000, just 4 years after the successful birth of Dolly the sheep. The foundations condemned cloning of living organisms, claiming that it puts the scientist on one level with the creator, and in the case of cloning of humans, it devalues human life. However, the foundations support the potential cloning of cells or body parts for medical reasons. Apart from abortion, the foundations condemn euthanasia and suicide. Obviously, the Church rejects homosexuality and transsexualism and advises to cure them with fasting, prayer, and Christian fellowship. Other topics include ecology, international politics and globalization, the media, culture, science, and education. Notably enough, the theory of evolution and the origins of life are not mentioned, which leaves space for discussion and diversity of opinions on these matters. So, what do you think? Is it a successful attempt to interpret Orthodox theology in order to apply it to the modern Russian state? Does the Church have too much involvement in society? Is the Church and her leadership consistent with what the foundations communicate? Share what you think in the comments. Please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I see you all next time.